Hi everyone. Last time we were looking at this menu and we were looking at ways to add something to our order, and we were running into a few problems. So we had our menu working okay, but then if I add something, there was this problem of the numbers, and also you can't seem to add a second thing. If I go to the next meal, it doesn't add to anything, it just changes it. So how can we solve that problem? Well, since we were talking about objects last time, and objects are a way of making something that reflects something in the real world, how about we have an order object? And up here, this really is the constructor for the order object. We're constructing this order object, and that's really why it's got that capitalization there. But I might refer to this as whole thing as an object, because that's what it is. Here we've got the object, and here we have some things that are being added to the object. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about customer at the moment, because I've got another object down here where we're going to make an object for the customer with some customer details, so we can then add them to a list or an array or something, and we'll be able to use them in this. But for now, what we want to do is add these meals to our order. So that means we're going to have to build a table. But if we build a table in the HTML, it's going to restrict the size of the table. So what we need is some way of constructing a table each time we add an order. It adds a table element, and that's what we're going to do next. Before we go any further, we're going to have to find a way of putting the table in. So we need to put some sort of table in. And so where we're going to put that, I think the best place for that is going to be under the div tag. So if we put, we can put it in the div tag. Let's do that. And then we're going to have table. We're going to give this table an ID of my table. And it's just using a table tag. You might be able to see it a bit better now. So you just have table, and inside this head you just put this in, right? Okay, so now we've got this table. We're gonna have to save that. Now if I go back to the JavaScript, now here I've already started to put in a table. Now, let's have a look at what it's doing. First of all, it's creating a variable table, and it's going to connect it to this document, my table, to this element rather. And then it creates a row, and it's going to insert the row at the end of the table. We might want to change that. And then we're going to put, like, so far we've got 2 rows in here. So let's save that. See if I've done enough. Right, okay, so now when I push it, it just creates these new cells, yeah? Well, I want it to start at the top, so I'm going to, whoops, I'm going to make this 0 a -1, because I want the entry to go in at the top. You might not necessarily notice it when I do it. So start that, and it goes new cell, new cell, new cell. It doesn't, you don't really notice it. Now, where it says new cell 1 and new cell 2, What should we put in there? We're going to put in the price. I think that might be a good place to start. And the name of the meal. And then let's put the name of the meal in there first. So where are we going to get the name of the meal from? How are we going to get that? Well, where is it? Where is the name of the meal? Okay, so we've got it up here. If I take this and put it down here, let's see what happens. And it does indeed put meal 1 in. And if I do it again, it puts meal 1 in. If I do, and it does indeed come at the bottom there, which is what we wanted it to do. We wanted it to go at the bottom. And we could change that. It doesn't really matter. We might decide that it is better at the top. So now we've got meal 1. And now in this section, we're going to want to put in their price, aren't we? So if I take this, a copy, and pop in there price, and then what do you say? Now we're doing it. We've got meal 1, and it's coming up with the price. We need to tidy that up a little bit. Yeah. To meal 4. Yep, that's all going in there. But we still need to tidy up because it doesn't look very noticeable. We can't really sort of tell what we're doing, can we? What can we do to make this look a bit better? What are we going to do there? Well, we're going to have to put in a pound sign. Let's try that. Let's see what happens there. This might work. And it seems to have broken it. Let's try it now. No, it doesn't like it, does it? So what if I take that out and make this a variable and call it a price equals what happens now? Now it looks as if it is going to work. That's kind of strange. But it seems to be working there. And now we do it and it does work. So sometimes it is worthwhile breaking things down and putting them into variables because it stops the confusion from happening. So what have we got here? Here it doesn't really matter. It didn't matter for that one, but it did matter for this price here, didn't it? It didn't like that at all. So what's the next thing we need to do? We've got meal 1. Perhaps we should put an equals in there. Or no, we're going to have to build some other block that says how many times it's going to be ordered, because if I add it again, it just adds it to this instead of adding it to this. If I move to this one, we've got meal 2, and we're going to need a total. If I move to the next one and add that, it is going to need a total, and then we have the problem with this one that stops there. How are we going to work out the total? What should we do? It's going to need somewhere to put the total, isn't it? First of all, where we're going to put that. So in the table there, perhaps if we do a span tag and we give that an ID of total, and we can put 0 in there to see where it comes. And what else could we do? I think we could put total in there and then close the tag here. Just do that. So at the moment, the total equals 0. So now we've got a total. Well, we've got to find a way of telling it what the total is. So if we go back, we've got to find a way of calculating it. So if we do, let's just take this for a moment. Yeah, we're not going to want to put any of that in. And this here was total. We did make it total, didn't we? Let's put a capital T. Let's make that a lowercase. Now, how are we going to do that? How are we going to add these numbers together? Okay, in order to be able to add these together, we're going to have to make another variable, aren't we? So if we have a variable and we call it subtotal, yeah, and we initialize that to 0 to make sure that it is an integer. Now, what are we going to do down here? We're going to have our variable subtotal, and that's going to equal subtotal because we want it to keep going up each time. Yeah. Plus, this is how we do the addition. We just add stuff together. Now, we already made a variable for price, didn't we? And it's called a price. Yeah. Now, the next thing for us to do, let's tidy this up, is we're going to have to display it somewhere. So where were we going to display it? We were going to display it in, that was going to be total. And we're going to take that out and we're going to put subtotal in there. So total. Yeah, we're going to save that. We're going to see what happens. Now we have total done out. If we add something to it, it's been added. We haven't worked out the VAT yet. What happens if we add something else to it? Now we seem to have a bit of a problem there, and why that has happened, I don't know. Yeah. So if we add some other meal to there, and that one, and it does it again. And if we add like this one, now you can see that there are a few problems there. We're going to use this to fixed 2. Now if I save it, we do the same thing again. It doesn't do anything sort of strange. Well, we still have this problem up here. So now I still need to sort out this problem with this. And I know it's got something to do, and there it's actually the total has made it come up there. So I know it's got something to do with this. Let's just paste that in, 2 fixed. Now if we do that again, and add that to order, now it works here, but it's still not working up there. So if I scroll up here and I go to this point here and add it in there, now when I do it, it works everywhere. If I had another one on there, and another one, and something else, it carries on adding it, and it's doing the maths for us. Now we've done this, we need to be able to make a few corrections to the order. First of all, we want to be able to submit the order, but what if I decide I want to take something off of the order? What if I decide I want to remove one of these orders? Now, how am I going to do that? And we're going to cover that in the next video. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a like. Please come and check out my channel and make a donation if you're feeling very kind.